I think that's the worst thing that you can do is to count out Napoli.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the IFTV podcast. It has been a little while. We took a little break after I was in Italy for a couple of weeks. Now we're back, and we've got Peter with this. I don't know what kind of
mustache
goatee this is. Where did
I want to do something different. When you can't really do much on top, you got to try to play around down here.
No, I like a full.
I know. Beard. I had it, but then you want to just change it.
Change it up.
So
the goat tee,
right? I'm gonna do a mic. Are you
stash. Making fun of me or something?
No, that's the Neapolitan style.
That's the Neapolitan style?
If you go to Naples, a lot of guys, they wear that type of goatee.
I was in Naples and I did not see anyone.
Where'd you
go to Naples? Come on.
I went to all the places that you recommended me to go. We have to welcome our new guest.
Yeah.
We've got Marcella.
Hi, guys.
Huge
Hi, Marcella.
Fan, right?
Hi, Marco. Hi, Peter. Hi,
What's
Mike.
up?
Did you hear what he said?
I already started off with it. I said a huge Inter fan, right?
Oh, no.
Man.
No. What fan are you?
Come on, this.
Udinese.
Oh.
There we go.
Ascoli. What's up, Marcella?
What's up, Marco?
How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
It's been too long.
I know, too long.
We always see you. You always going on Giuseppe's YouTube channel. You go everywhere but IFTV. We ask you all the time and you never want to come.
You never ask me, Marco.
I ask you. I think we ask her all the time.
I always say, and you always said she keeps saying no.
Yeah,
She's
I know.
On a different part, and I was like, that's weird. Maybe she
had to
doesn't.
wait for a win. I had to wait for a win. I got it. And
we had a couple of seasons.
Now we see.
I know we've got the big debate over here. I know you were nervous with this setup with Juventus and Inter in the final together.
Peter's not nervous.
What's there to be nervous about?
We interrupt this podcast because we have a word from our premium sponsors of IFTV. The reason why we can do this for such a long time, they're sponsoring for the entire year, the entire season. Paramount Plus is your home to watch Serie A in the United States. You get Champions League, Europa League, everything.
Conference League, Coppa Italia.
What makes me very happy, Mike, and we mentioned this before, we have pre-match, halftime, and post-match coverage that is constantly on. We've got me, we've got Mike Grella, Bonetti, Dre Cordero, Papi, sometimes even Bobo Vieri, who was on live from the San Siro. We even had somebody from Venice who was on a boat traveling, showing us and documenting the beauty of Italy. Because if there's one thing I know, is that Italy is the most beautiful country in the world. It seems like Paramount Plus agrees because they want to show that, they want to broadcast that. Guys, the link in the top of our description,
check it out, guys.
Is ParamountPlus.com/IFTV. I think you still get a free month if you go right now. Don't even wait till tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. I think my dad told me that if you subscribe for 12 months, you get it even cheaper.
Yeah, under $5. This is probably the best investment I made for calcio because there's just so many competitions that you can get. Getting Paramount, it pretty much quenches my thirst of calcio. How you not gonna watch the European games? How you not gonna watch Serie A? How you not gonna watch a Super Coppa, the incredible Super Coppa? Even if you like calcio, but you also like shows, you like movies. They have amazing movies, new shows. They have a lot of stuff going on, and of course, 2022 is gonna be an even bigger year for Paramount. They're doing a lot more stuff, and they're just so ingrained, I think, in this culture, and it's only gonna get better from here.
The one theme that we have during this entire podcast, as we were mentioning before, is that don't judge where we are right now, right? We said the coaches, they need time. Slowly but surely, things with Paramount, the coverage is going to get bigger. It's going to get better. 2022, the ideas and the things that they want to do going to Serie A and building around the coverage is even bigger and better. So look at the roots. They're healthy. They're thriving, and I think that
growing.
We're gonna get to a really awesome place. But it's all thanks to Paramount Plus. We appreciate them for sponsoring IFTV, guys. If you enjoy our show, it's all thanks to them. It's thanks to them that we're able to put this on. So help support them. Link in the top of our description. Go get it.
And back to the podcast. We were here for streaming the Coppa Italia semifinal match, and I was a little disappointed in Milan. I'm not gonna lie. So I expected more of a fight on that. But other than that, pretty good. Greek Easter's coming up, so it should be.
When is it? 2 weeks after?
It's a week after Catholic, so
This
Sunday.
Next week, this Sunday.
How are you guys going to be
Good Friday tomorrow.
Lamb,
yeah, that's a
pig?
plan. That's a plan.
Do we get an invite?
Absolutely.
Do we?
Come to Jersey?
Jersey.
Just invite us, maybe.
Of course.
And we'll come.
And he said, we got to check if Serie A games that day.
There are. There's Lazio Milan.
I'll bring the Uzo.
There's a lot of
Uzo.
games this weekend. Uzo, yeah.
Big game.
Lazio Milan. So Peter,
Yes.
we had Coppa Italia. We'll talk about we'll go over Serie A. We'll talk about the Campionato.
Okay.
How the Scudetto race went, top 4, and relegation. Which the relegation battle looks pretty good. Coppa Italia. How'd you feel about going to the final? 3-0 win over Milan. Looked easy on paper.
Sure. I mean, it looked easy, but I think anybody that watched the game could have seen that this game could have gone sour at that point where that 2-1 went in. But we'll start from the beginning. I think it was very important for Lautaro Martinez to finally come up big in a big game. I think he's been too inconsistent this year. There's I don't know if there's added pressure with Lukaku leaving, but definitely it was this year that he was supposed to really take the reins of this Inter team up top. And although he's put up decent numbers, definitely not, the numbers that I would have expected, given the fact that he was supposed to be that leader of this Inter team, and given the fact that Inzaghi plays an attack-minded football. I was expecting at least 20, 25 goals, easily.
That's a big
That- that- that-
expectation.
yeah,
20,
that is a
25
lot,
goals
but
from him.
I'm sorry, but
That's a lot, dude.
he's the number 9 for Argentina. Okay, he's supposed to be the Inter's top player. Think about it. He's supposed to be the top player for Inter. Up until recently, a lot of the top teams, Barcelona, they were all interested in him. Now it looks like there's renewed interest. There's rumors and whatnot. So listen, I don't think 25 goals is a big.
He just scored 2
expectation.
goals. Why are you being negative?
I'm just saying.
I don't really
I'm just
think he's
talking.
being
I'm
negative.
just
He's
being
talking
negative
about
right now.
No.
But what I'm trying to say is that it was important for him to come out and score
expects
those
better.
goals. I have high
I agree.
expectations for him, and when you have to be the top striker for Inter, you have to put the ball in the back of the net. Okay. That being said, he has been.
That being said, with all due respect,
With all due respect,
those are his 2 lines.
These are-
by the way.
these are looking towards Serie A. 5, right? We have 5 games, 6 games now with Bologna. Finals, and he has to step up and he has to score in all the games. Let's put
Be
it that
careful
way.
with that Bologna game.
Oh yeah, I know, but things are looking good right now. So let's see what happens.
How did things turn around? Because a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to you, and you said, I've been telling you guys the entire time the Scudetto was not done. You started feeling negative. I heard what you were saying about Inzaghi. Now,
So even
things have changed.
even right now, I mean, like she said, the game versus Bologna, that's still a game that you have to win. Obviously, with the amount of points that we have, it's in our destiny. But you have tricky games. I think this year in particular has been a very abnormal year. So we've seen a lot of historic upsets. And then, Inter, I think last month or within 2 months or so, they had very, very difficult games where you had, the Champions League games, 2 very important games versus Liverpool, the game versus Milan, Napoli. So a lot of games in quick succession. I think the team just physically, but more importantly, mentally, really got exhausted and it took a toll. But I also said, you weren't here when we had Antonio all giddy and happy that Milan were ahead by 5 points. He made us all predict how many points each team is going to get. And I truthfully said from there, and even from a little earlier, I said, there's going to be games there that you think are for sure wins. And all these teams are going to be dropping because I think it's since January, if I'm not mistaken, that all 3 teams, Inter, Milan, Napoli, haven't won a game altogether
yeah.
in one league. And that's not the usual for the past 15 years when we've seen, Juventus dominate and win every game. And then before that, Inter dominate and win every game. So it's a little, it's refreshing, I think, to say that Inter Milan are going to go head-to-head to the very last day. That's how I see it. And don't be surprised if Napoli stays in there because Inter have a tough game versus Roma and Milan have a tough game versus Lazio. So if there's points dropped, Napoli right back in. So we cannot, look at it in a journalist perspective. And what I mean by that is journalist perspective, Inter loses, end of the world. Inter win, they're going to be the Scudetto favorites. Doesn't happen that way. There's 38 games. Let's see what happens till the end.
What do you think about Inter?
I think the only team that could take the Scudetto away from Inter is Inter. They're basically, they're in this for the long run, and the Scudetto comes down to the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. And, for a while that was looking like Naples. For a while that was looking like Inter. But, like Peter said, since January, it's been a little bit of a ping pong.
I agree with that. I think it's in your hands.
It's in your hands.
I mean, technically it is, but also just your team is the best one. But at the end of the day, you're finally getting your strikers to start to perform.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. The momentum is shifting.
But even the way that we're playing, we see chances being created and chances finished. I think, okay, yes, it's in our hands, but we miss out on one game. All of a sudden, we're not it's not in our hands anymore. If we lose next week, all of a sudden it's in Milan's hands again. So it's not like you say we have 2 games at hand or we have 3 to 5 points to play with. I think it's going to come to the end. I don't see Inter. They have. I really think that they can drop points versus Roma, especially the way that Mourinho has this Roma team playing. Maybe not necessarily that you lose, but I would not be astonished if Inter were to tie the game. I really wouldn't. Then I think also right there and then, Milan playing after the next day versus a Lazio. If Inter do drop points, there is a little bit of a motivation there for them to get the full 3 points.
But now when the perspective changed, when it was in Milan's hand to win the Scudetto, I feel like a lot of people's mind changed on who could win it. But now I don't know if the table turned again since it's in Inter's hands now and saying, oh, now it's Inter's to lose, Because I don't know, Marco, I don't know if you were on that podcast, but when it was in Milan's hand, we're all saying we think Milan,
I saw some clips. Yeah,
we think Milan could do it now. It's in their hands.
I think you guys exaggerated a little bit.
Maybe exaggerated
I think
a little bit.
A lot of excitement.
But after whatever Milan dropped a few points, does that really take them out for saying they're not going to win it now?
If you notice, Milan, even within the last month, they've been playing poorly. Defensively, solid, but offensively, they scored 1 goal a game. Like they had very, very tight games. So when you see that, there's not that they have Ibrahimovic, right? But Ibrahimovic hasn't been able to step on the field. Yeah. So like he has the ability and the power to motivate his players and keep them to the highest standards. But unless he's on the field that he's able to score, they're lacking that presence on the field. And I feel that this Milan team, aside for the Ibrahimovic and the Giroud, a bunch of young guys that don't have experience winning in this Campionato. So that's the only difference that I see between this Inter and Milan team. Although we're missing that Conte effect, we have players on this team that have done it before. They know what it takes to win the Scudetto. And that mentality is very, very important when you come to this later stage of the season, where the pressure is on you and you have to be able to perform at the highest.
The biggest difference is that, yes, I agree with you. Milan's defense is really good. Forget about the last Coppa Italia match where they made individual mistakes. The problem is the attack. You guys create a lot more chances, and even your midfielders create opportunities more than Milan's attackers. Like when I watch Messias, Diaz, Giroud, Salamakers, the quality is not there to that level when you need to win these games at the end. For me, I mean, the fact that Milan is still there, they're still in first place, is an achievement. I mean, they were not expected to get there. For me, before the season, I was thinking top 4. I did not think that they would be fighting Inter to the Scudetto in the end. The 2 teams that I had coming into the year were Juventus and Inter. Those 2 teams, Inter and Juventus, in that order. The fact that
really?
What a change of events.
The fact that Napoli and Milan are both still in this, in my opinion, both of those teams have done such a good job to get to this point. It's a credit to them. And if they do lose it, I don't see it as this, this failure of a year.
But you had that before Ronaldo, right?
That's why I said the order. I had Inter and Juventus. I still thought Juventus was going to be there even without Ronaldo. Even without Ronaldo, they everyone said Allegri is coming back. No, you didn't think Juventus was going to fight for the Scudetto?
I'm saying now.
This year?
Before the season started.
Before the season started, I did not think that we were going to fight for the Scudetto.
With Ronaldo,
I'm going to be completely honest. I came into this season saying Pirlo's gone. We have another change of the reins, we're going to be lucky to do top 4 again.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Come
are
on.
Okay, what teams are better? What squads are better than Juventus?
I knew Milan was going to be better than us.
Okay,
this
but
year.
you still
you could definitely see that. Even last year, it was going to be Inter and Milan.
That's fine, but you said be lucky to get into top 4, so that means Roma, Atalanta, Lazio, Fiorentina. You thought one of those teams was going to finish 4th above Juventus squad?
Honestly, I got a lot of heat for this, but I thought Roma was going to do a lot better this year with Mourinho.
First year, really?
I think they're doing amazing.
Yeah,
I think they're doing as well as was expected of them to do, but I thought they were going to do better. I thought Mourinho was going to have this instant impact where everything was going to kind of like fall into place for them and they were going to fight for top 4. I mean, they're on our tail. That's the other thing, is that if Juve keep dropping points, we're going to have a problem with Roma. And the only thing that we have is the head-to-head over them.
It's 5 points.
Well, listen, Roma, I think, are
points.
right in position where they should have been, how I would have saw in the beginning. I see your point, and I think Mourinho did have an effect in the beginning of the season where they were on fire. But then, unfortunately, Roma have their limits with their roster. So you're not going to be able to compete. I would have actually, I thought like Marco, Allegri coming in, has that experience, knows how to win. I knew that the team was going to be boring as hell, and that's
Allegri ball,
is evident. But Allegri's used to winning the game 1-0. Yeah. So I was in shock when I saw, especially in the beginning of the season, the results that Juventus had and the points that they've dropped this whole season. I was surprised because I would have thought they would have been always pushing for
I think
Scudetto.
the difference here is that I think I kind of knew that Ronaldo was going to be on his way out. And I was like, something crazy is going to happen in the beginning of the year, and it's really going to throw us for a loop. I really didn't expect him to stay.
All right, we got Nostradamus sitting next to us.
How'd
you know that? You got some insiders. You said I got insiders. Marcello, you sound like the one that got the insiders.
Come on, at the end of last season, we all saw what the we all saw what the mood was.
I think now that I'm remembering our early predictions for the beginning of the season of the top 4, I think a lot of us were debating if Juve were going to be in top 4 or not. I think Peter had them outside.
Any of us. I think the big debate that we all had was we disagreed on Napoli. I think only 2 or 3 of us had Napoli in the top 4.
I think
Juventus was in the top 4. I'm pretty sure for everybody.
I think it was different.
How
I think
you
we're debating
that
for
Juve
that
is
one.
automatically in the top 4 after we got in on the top 4 last year over a Napoli error.
Yeah, but then Allegri went back into the team. No, I mean,
come on, it's reheated
we gotta check
soup.
that. We gotta check that
minestra
podcast.
riscaldata. Come on, Marco.
But if you think about Juventus, I know you're saying that the team is so far off. If you think about Chiesa, obviously ifs and buts, but Chiesa doesn't get injured. Big difference to the season. The match against Inter just a couple of weeks ago, that Juventus played a great game against Inter. They win that match. They're a couple points off. It's not like they couldn't have still been able to get into the race.
No, I agree with you there. If we won the game against Inter, then I think you don't tie that game with Bologna, and I think you really have a shot of the Scudetto. But I really didn't imagine us being there.
But then again, Vlahovic coming mid-season also. We didn't know about this. This was a mid-season thing that no one expected for it to happen. Yeah, Chiesa, you could say that, but how many goals could he get you? He's a great player. But he's not a striker is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the guy's still creative.
He's not a striker.
The guy puts
But with losing Ronaldo, losing 25, 30 goals a season, it's going to be hard to get someone like Morata who's hot and cold and putting everything on Chiesa was a thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
This Juve team, the goals were always a little bit spread out. I mean, yes, we relied on Ronaldo a lot for goals. Too much for goals. But the thing is that Chiesa, I think he had his turning point in the Euro Cup. And I think this year he probably could have put up a lot of goals.
What's a lot, though?
I think he could have put up 15 goals.
Yeah, okay, I was saying the same thing.
That's fair.
I was thinking 15 goals.
15 goals, which at the end of the day is a lot.
And how many would he create as well?
Exactly. And then how many does he create? Exactly.
Just watch the matches in Champions League when he was there for Juventus. You just see the opportunities that they create. I don't think you could undermine how important he would have been for Juventus this year. Anyway, whatever. That's it's water underneath the bridge. It doesn't matter at this point anymore. Juventus, we'll talk about Juve. They won against Fiorentina, Coppa Italia. Fiorentina, they play their match. They played their style. I think it was too hard for them to make up the one goal from the away match. I think it killed them, and I think it just
They were the better team that game.
Well, they were the better
first
team over
leg.
both legs.
No, I wouldn't say that for the second
Did you
leg.
say that they were the better team yesterday?
No, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say
really?
that.
I just like their style. Like, I think that the style that they play.
I know you're I mean, I'm a big Italiano fan too, but the thing is that I do think that yesterday we were the better team.
You were better.
Well,
yesterday.
Juventus, yes, they counterattacked. They played their moments well defensively. Anytime Fiorentina stepped up, they would win the ball back. They send one long, and then you would find Vlahovic.
Yeah.
You would find the guys up forward. It was a very hard challenge for Fiorentina and Italiano because they had to press up. They had to score 2 goals. No matter what, they had to score 2 goals. So the more that they pressed up, the more it fell into Juventus's game plan of send this ball long. The style wise, that's what I would say. I don't appreciate the style as much against
Whose
Fiorentina.
style as much?
Juventus.
Allegri's
I think your Juventus at home against Fiorentina, they're not able to dominate the match.
But in possession, you mean?
Yeah.
In possession, that's because if they had a few chances, Juve could have been up more. Vlahovic missed one, I think. Morato also missed one. They had
and then you had
a
the
lot of
Rabiot
chances.
goals that was taken away.
Exactly. So it would have been it could have been a heavy deficit for
To be
Fiorentina.
fair, Fiorentina has embarrassed a lot of teams, all of which are competing for the Scudetto right now. Inter played a terrible game. Milan played a terrible game. So Fiorentina have had the upper hand on a lot of teams. Allegri, his style is to defend. Even if you look at the Inter-Milan game, Inter had less possession. So it doesn't necessarily mean with possession, you win the game or should win the game. Fiorentina have that, high press, possession of the ball. I think what they lack, and unfortunately, Conte for them, this game wasn't effective enough. They need someone to be able to, beat that player one-on-one and create that numerical advantage. And that's something that we don't see a lot in the mid to lower level teams. Whereas, Inter,
I mean, they
Juventus,
did have that guy.
Who? Conte?
Vlahovic.
No,
Oh, Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had him, of course. Well, unfortunately, you have him, but you can't keep him, right? Money-wise. So, I just, obviously, we give credit to Fiorentina. I think even for Fiorentina of recent years, for them to reach the semifinal of Coppa Italia is a big step forward, and they're still competing for a European spot. Europa League would be a major accomplishment for this team, and finally, it looks like they have, a great manager, Italiano, and a solid project to build on.
Where would they be if Vlahovic stayed?
Listen, I think even with Vlahovic leaving, the team has kept up with its recent run of form.
But
right?
where would they be if they had Vlahovic?
If they have Vlahovic, I think they would be in the same position.
They would be out in the semifinals?
I think they would. Oh,
You don't think they would have made the final?
Different story. I'm sorry. I thought you meant within the league. I think
Both.
in a head-to-head game, yes, Vlahovic, maybe you make the final. In the Scudetto race, they'll still be far out of it. Would they be closer to 4th place? Yes, but I still see them outside of the Champions League.
You also have to consider Juventus wouldn't have Vlahovic on their side.
Yeah, but then you also have Roma, Lazio.
But then again,
I think they would be very close to the top 4
many
position,
games-
and I think they would have made it to the final.
I mean, even without Vlahovic, Cabral, and Piontek, for the most part, they're doing.
They've
they're
scored
doing
a combined 5 goals in Serie A together.
Oh, how about in Coppa Italia and stuff?
Coppa Italia, Piontek has scored 3 goals. It's not that much. I know, and the strength, Italiano said, the strength of our team is that everybody on the team, we're not relying on one player.
Yeah.
And he said he thinks the biggest mistake teams make is that they rely on one player to score goals, and he doesn't want to create a team like that. But I think if you had Vlahovic, I think Fiorentina's season would be very big. It's just to put into perspective, like, teams losing your best player, it could have crippled a lot of squads, but it wasn't able to cripple them. And I give them credit for getting to the semifinals and to still be there for a European position.
Yeah.
What are the topics we got, Mike?
Well, we want to talk about the other side of the Coppa Italia semifinals
Which one?
with Milan and.
We talked about.
I mean,
we
did
didn't-
we really
I mean,
talk
talk
about Juve
about the-
Fiorentina a lot, though?
what do you want to talk about?
I
What else
don't
you
know,
wanna
that
say?
amazing Bernardeschi goal.
that came from a
Wow.
mistake.
Amazing.
That came from a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Yeah,
Come on.
it was a nice finish, but it came
One
from a
nice
mistake.
It was
finish.
a nice.
It was a nice dip. It was a
finish
nice
for
dip.
Bernardeschi, who hasn't really scored at all. His 2 biggest goals lately were the 2 penalties taken in the Euro Cup. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about how amazing Rabiot
You can tell she's
played
a
in that
Juve fan,
game.
right?
Rabiot did well. Rabiot did well.
Rabiot has, I think, his best game of the season.
Rabiot's
that
Is
good
it
game.
for a new contract?
Well,
first of
Bernadeschi
all-
scored the goal, and now he got his contract taken away.
know,
You see,
yeah.
they're not going to renew him. Everybody plays good when their contract is expiring. You see these
absolutely.
guys; they do unbelievable.
Yeah. They hustle
do
even
things that you
more.
would never imagine.
Except Dybala.
Oh boy! Wow, that was a sting.
Zakaria did well.
He did amazing. I think that you put at least 3 to 4 more shots on off target and you become a little bit more threatening, even with Zakaria just playing. I think he's absolutely incredible. And I really hope that, he doesn't, have these injury problems that now everybody's starting to kind of chat
Really,
about.
absolutely incredible. He seems like a good midfielder.
I think he seems good.
He's good. I don't think absolutely.
I haven't been.
That's
I mean, he's also been injured a lot already. I'm nervous on that sense.
I know, exactly. I'm nervous about that sense, but you can't deny that Juve look a lot more threatening when he does
I guess
play.
compared to the midfielders that they do have.
Exactly. And I know
Yeah.
you were trying to throw a little dig there, but yeah.
No,
exactly.
it wasn't.
What was
No,
the
no,
thing?
it wasn't.
Now you're learning, Mike.
I know,
What are we,
exactly.
15 minutes in? And yeah.
But it wasn't a dig at all. It was basically.
What were you calling Mike before? What was the nickname that you gave him?
Oh, FC Potster?
FC Potstar. I like that
I
one.
didn't even hear that.
FC Potstar. That works really. She asked what team you supported.
FC Potster.
I've heard better ones, but it's okay.
Oh.
Antonio's flipper still stays, I think.
I don't
That's
know.
a good one. Whatever.
This might be the.
I know, but I had to come up with something original. I
Okay,
couldn't
Yeah.
find
I give you
Antonio's.
credit. Okay,
That's good.
It's not bad.
That's good.
Pots
Better than
It's also a
mine.
little bit more accurate.
What was yours?
I didn't have one.
I don't think I can't say
Luther just calls
mine.
me Manolas.
He's gonna call you Manolas until
I think he thinks that's my name. That's the thing.
probably does.
I'll let him have it.
Should we talk?
I want to know what Peter thinks of the final, though. What do you think's going to happen?
What I think is gonna happen. First off, there's a lot of time between now to May 11th.
May
I know.
11th.
So-
I agree. But what do what are your thoughts?
I think Juventus is going to have a lot of venom, right? Because they're definitely
A lot of
not
venom.
happy that they couldn't beat Inter after having a dominating
She was laughing
performance.
at that.
Yeah, never see
She made
Marcello
fun of
smile
you,
like
basically.
that.
A lot of venom. What do you want them to have? Sugar? Like they have? They're going to go for blood. It's a classic.
I just want to
game.
make sure you know that we're coming for blood. That's basically what I just wanted to establish. I just want you to know that we're coming for blood.
Okay. Well, we're the snakes, so we usually are the ones
It's going.
Ooh.
pulling out
Are
the
you
blood.
scared?
No, I'm not scared. I think in a final, a one-off game, Allegri has his ability to win these games. I think matchup, it's going to be a great matchup between Inter and Juventus. I think it's going to be a different Inter than what we saw when they did win that 1-0, because it was the Inter trying to look for their confidence, and they finally got their mojo back, if we want to talk in Austin Powers terms, right? Where we were able
Austin
to...
Powers. Wow, that's a
because
throwback.
That's a throwback. I'm
That's
still
a
waiting
real
for the
thing.
new movie, by the way.
I
But
never watched that.
you never watched
No.
Austin Powers.
No, I never
a
seen
classic.
Austin
Me
Powers.
neither.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Austin Powers.
That's
What's
like-
wrong with you guys?
That's
Too
a
many,
classic.
Too many
That's a
movies,
classic.
man.
And you guys are
I
part
don't
of
really
our
watch.
generation, too.
I don't
Like,
even
what
watch
the hell's
a
going
lot of
on?
movies, but I saw.
Too many
What's going
movies,
on?
these guys.
But,
I watch soccer, not movies.
ooh, sorry.
She got Venom too.
No, but so let's rephrase what I had to say. I think it's going to be a game where Inter are going to come out with a much better game plan than what we saw, because now it's not a point of we need these 3 points. Now it's we need to win the game. Juventus, Zakaria back, and Vlahovic. I love Vlahovic. I'm going to admit I was very upset when he went to Juventus, because I thought, and I think he's going to be a next level striker. So this is a guy that can not just score goals with service. He's going to be able to create on his own. So
He has yet to with the big teams, though. That's the only thing.
yeah, but you know what?
The only one really big game he came up in was the 1-0 with Villarreal.
Look at
He's
this. Look
literally
at
left alone on an island.
I'm
But it
sorry.
doesn't
No, I
Look-
didn't
look-
know.
he is-
with
he is
Allegri's
left
type,
alone
but
on an island.
I'm waiting for him to have his big moment, in a big game.
With
He needs-
Allegri-
I-
it's
it
tough with
is like
Allegri's
almost
tactics, I think.
unbelievable at times where I see him. He has to try to take on like 2-3 guys,
Yeah.
like all on his own. Like the team does not create.
But I
for
don't
him
know
well
if you
at
saw,
all.
even for the Fiorentina match, a lot of it he only got, there was a lot of bad balls that he got, like nothing forward, and he had to like kind of come
I mean,
back.
he could have. He had two that he was 1-on-1. He tried to chip.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
kept
was-
trying to go for the chip.
That was that one.
But that's fine.
But I just think Allegri's style of football, it's hard for him to be scoring a lot of goals.
You need
the
to-
way he plays.
Next year, you need to
the
build
way
the
they
system better around him.
Yeah.
But he was also unlucky. Like even in the Inter game, I still remember how he cut up Skriniar.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Skriniar for me is the best defender in Serie A right now, and he is.
One
Look,
of.
I would agree with that.
I mean,
Really?
For sure.
Yeah, I think Skriniar's been the best.
you know, I think
Watching him in
he's top.
person and that game, I mean, he's a behemoth.
I'm not really a Skriniar fan.
Well, you should watch more soccer then.
He's not my favorite defender on
My
your team.
gosh.
That's why he's not who I would
Who
take
is it?
from you.
Who
is it?
Oh, I would take Bastoni
Just because of
in a
his
heartbeat.
age, though? Is it because of the age?
nationality.
Just because of everything.
What?
The guy is a wall.
You watch Skriniar, that's a wall. Bastoni still has to put the cement on. So
Anyway, let's shift gears. I want to talk about Napoli. Napoli, they tied 1-1 against Roma, the match that we were watching. And towards the end of that game, Roma really built into the match. I thought Roma were going to steal the win. You know, for me, I know you said anything could happen. For me, that was the final nail in the coffin for Napoli and their Scudetto chances. I really give praise, and I do feel bad for Spalletti. I know he was getting booed by the fans after the match. Their home record, I understand from the home fans, is poor. They would be in like 7th or 8th place if all their matches were home compared to the away. They would be in 1st. So I get that side from the fans, but I think what Napoli has done this season really is brilliant. I think that when you look at their team, so many people didn't even have them getting into a Champions League spot. Spalletti is a great stabilizer. I think he had to deal with a lot of issues with this team. I think back to AFCON where he handled that situation extremely well. The defense really did start to look solid, where Rachmani was a player that all of us, 4 out of 4 of us, would have counted out coming into the year. Anguissa became a revelation. I thought he was a really great center midfielder. So these are the building blocks for Napoli. But unfortunately for them, in my opinion, the Scudetto is too far, and I don't consider it a failure for them. I still think that this season is a success.
I agree with you at a point, Marco. I had a lot
What do
of
you
high
disagree
hopes. I'll tell you, I had a lot of high hopes for Napoli. The part where the biggest problem for me with Napoli from last season was could they compete for the Scudetto in the last few match days? And now, fast forward to this match day, and it looks like they're not gonna keep the same momentum that they had going, and that was the biggest thing for me. I feel like they lost their motivation and their mentality, and that's something I thought Spalletti would have brought in more, especially in the must-win games, for games like this towards the end. And I don't want to criticize Spalletti that much, considering this is his first season and all, but I just felt like it would be a different switch for Napoli where they would keep the pace going. And maybe I put them too high in the beginning of the season because I really want them to do better than they are now. But it's like a sour taste in my mouth, thinking that maybe with Spalletti they could go further than they did last year.
I think reality just hit them. I think that they were really overachieving in the beginning of the season compared to where their squad actually was. It's just managing expectations, in my opinion. But how high did you think? You thought they were going to fight for the Scudetto?
I thought towards
What
the
did you
end,
have? Third place, coming in fourth?
But I had them fighting for the Scudetto the last few match days.
When did you have this?
What do you mean when?
Like, when did you think that?
I had them top 4.
I know you had them top 4. Yeah. They're in top 4.
I believe I had them 3rd, but I had them.
So
fighting.
they're exactly where you thought they would be.
No, but the thing is, I had them fighting till the last match day.
I mean, they still are.
They still are fighting.
They're still fighting till the last day.
Honestly, I wouldn't
but
count
their
them out
demeanor,
just
though.
yet.
You don't count them out?
No, absolutely not. I think
hope
that's
you're right.
the worst thing that you can do is to count out Napoli.
All right, boys. Manscaped is back sponsoring our IFTV podcast, and we got you covered. Use code IFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. It is as simple as that. We are getting down to the wire of getting the Scudetto. Mike, do you know what Scudetto champions do?
Tell us, Marco.
They take care of their body because they are champions. Guys, be a champion. Be a Scudetto champion. Get yourself the new Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. I'm using it all the time, even throughout winter. I do not care. I always keep myself nice and clean.
There we
and
go.
even Michael, I compliment you every once in a while. You've gotten in better shape. I see the comments like, oh, look at his biceps. He's looking good. He's thinned out. if you shave down now your chest, your stomach, you're gonna look more ripped.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't done anything differently. I was just using Manscaped.
So you don't have to work out.
I mean, I haven't ran a single mile, to be honest. Manscaped's making me look jacked over here, looking at me in better shape. But regardless, since we do have this amazing partnership, I have been using Manscaped a lot more, and does make a huge difference. And there's a bunch of new features that I do like. The skin safe technology is definitely one, because let's be honest, we all have those incidents that we never want to talk about, but it happens.
You mentioned those a lot.
Exactly. But Manscaped, it hasn't happened once, and I'm so happy with it. And let's not forget, you could do this in the shower, clean, safe, everything goes down the drain. You could forget about it, and it's just that easy. Mike. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it works like that.
So far, it's pretty good. And it also has a flashlight attached to it, so you can get every little hair, Marco. It does not mess around here. And another thing that I didn't think I needed, the crop preserver ball deodorant. I didn't think I needed. I thought I just needed like a cologne for my wrist, my neck, and I was good. But dude, I used this, and it was one of those things that it's like you never knew you needed it till you used it.
There we go.
So incredible stuff.
And the 4th generation performance package from Manscaped is here. It's a perfect combination for everything that Manscaped has. Guys, again, 20% off plus free shipping using code IFTV. It is that simple. The link is in the top of the description. One more time, 20% off, free shipping, code IFTV. They are supporting us. Guys, go on and support them. It's such an easy gift to give to any of your friends. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
All right,
that's
tell us
the
why.
worst thing you can do.
They just tied to Roma. The match before they lost to Fiorentina.
First of all, I think that... What was your prediction on the live against Napoli-Roma? I can't remember what you said. I think you gave it 2-1 to Napoli.
I don't remember. I thought I said a tie.
Or maybe you said a tie. Someone said a win for Napoli, but someone also said a tie. I think that if you look at Roma's form, I think Napoli were on par to tie that game. I think they were going to have a really, really hard time winning that game, given Roma's current run of form. They haven't lost. If I'm not mistaken, the last game that they lost in Serie A was against Juventus.
No, Fiorentina. They lost to Fiorentina at home.
No, she's saying Roma.
Oh, Roma?
Roma.
I think it's like a 13-game unbeaten.
No.
Exactly.
I know.
That's the last time that Roma lost was against Juve. So I really think you have a hard time, blowing out Roma in this game.
But with a team that's fighting for the Scudetto, do they slip up in those games? Considering their last 2 matches.
Yeah, but every single team fighting for the Scudetto has slipped up
at one point or another.
It doesn't matter. That's exactly when you slip up.
So you think they're still in it? You think they're still in it?
Napoli, absolutely.
I hope so.
You cannot count them out.
I think so
you play
too.
the mind games. We know how.
No. I'm being sincere. I think Napoli's still in it, also because if you look at the schedules, Napoli still have a favorable schedule compared to Inter and definitely to Milan.
I don't know what favorable is anymore.
Milan have a very tough.
There are no easy games.
Everyone thought
no easy games. We just tied Bologna. You still have to play Bologna.
100%. I understand Bologna. But you also listen. Bologna, in particular, Mihailovic, getting sick again created a big motivational factor for Bologna these last 2 games. So that obviously plays. Hopefully in another 2, we play next week, I think, in the Wednesday game. So hopefully between the game this weekend,
you finally
and
make
Inter,
up that game.
They're going to be able to.
That's the makeup game, right?
Yeah, and it's worse off for Inter. It's worse off for Inter to play it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So going back to
all right, so you guys keep Napoli in.
I keep Napoli in, and then also don't forget. Roma tied in the 91st minute. Napoli kept them 1-0.
Yeah,
I understand
Roma had a huge chances.
I understand.
In the second half, they had extreme chances.
No, Roma were better the second half than Napoli.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But like I said, every game has its own story. So the important thing is if Napoli are able to keep it 1-0, they win and they get those 3 points versus a Roma team that hasn't lost in a long time. Napoli, I think, have a better midfield. Off the bench, especially if we want to look at the total package, maybe not the starters, but total package. I think Napoli have the best midfield.
Depth, you're saying? You're saying depth?
Yes.
Nah, they don't.
I mean, they have Oliveira, Pellegrini, Cristante.
Napoli.
Oh, Napoli. Oh, I thought you were saying Roma.
Yes. If you look at total between Zielinski, Elmas,
Inter's got the
Fabian
best
Ruiz.
I would agree.
Who do we have coming off the bench? Vidal? Are we still talking about Vidal, guys?
Whoa.
No, I want to put Inter the best.
Inter got the best midfield.
Maybe the starting. But he's saying
yeah.
depth, though. He's saying everything.
Okay, but the starters are way higher.
You said everything.
I said that.
Okay,
You
in
can-
general.
you can
He
argue
might
that.
play for Inter, but he is still one of my favorite
Vidal?
midfielders. Absolutely.
No, he's not good anymore. He's not good anymore.
It's first of all, it's not the fact that
not
whether
good.
he's not good or he's amazing or he's poor. He's a player.
He's very rich, ma. On the field, he's poor.
No, he's not. He's not good.
Come on, Pete. He fights for you guys.
Okay, he fights, but
that's
if you ever
Right,
watch
but
him, he
coming
can't make
off
a
the
pass
bench,
anymore.
But the thing is that coming off the bench, that's what you need. You need someone with fresh
They can
legs
give red
and that's
cards
gonna
off the
fight.
bench.
No, this is the last
But
year.
he's not
So I
quality.
disagree.
He's not quality enough
Anyway,
anymore.
let's talk about Roma. Man, what a turnaround to the season they've had in these last couple of match days. I know before the last match we had made a graphic and it said if we counted the last 10 days, the last 10 match days, Roma would have been in first place. That's how good their form was coming into this. Okay, you don't like that stat?
Oh, it's a nice stat, but the season is 38 games. So
No, but it's only given context to how Roma have turned things around. That's it.
I agree.
And I'm very content for them. I think that Mourinho has done. He had a very tough task coming into the squad. I think that when you look at this team on paper, they are not a fifth place team. They're not a fourth place team. They're not a fifth place team. I think they're below that. But Mourinho had a big challenge in changing the mindset of these players. That was his biggest thing. And you watch, they have scored 7 goals after the 90th minute. They have the character. He's finally been able to instill the character and instill the mentality that they need to fight into the last second, which was the biggest thing that he struggled with. He's also been able to include young players like Zalewski, who's been a really good guy to come in. I mean, he had the courage to play him in the derby, and that really paid off because he did a great job against Lazio. And I really like the way that they're playing. The substitutions were so on point in the match against Napoli. Mkhitaryan coming into the match and almost playing like a Mezzala because he picks up the ball deep into the midfield and he helps service the guys up top. Pellegrini puts a good ball into the box 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times, whether it's from a set piece or a cross or from the midfield. He always gives you service. And when you have guys like Tammy Abraham who could put the ball into the back of the net, I'm really impressed with what Roma's doing on this last couple of match days. And I know they have a hard schedule. These next games are really difficult for them, but I think they've turned it around. And when I look at, I cannot believe that they have, because that defense, Ibanez is a disaster. Ibanez is a disaster.
He's hot and cold, that guy.
No. There's no hot. That's cold and cold. Sometimes it's less cold.
Isn't he the one?
But he's always cold.
He gave up the penalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he makes the wrong decision almost always.
10 out of 10 times.
10 out of 10.
We'll give him like 7 out of 10.
The interesting thing with Roma now is a few months ago, everyone wanted Mourinho's head. It was like, it's not working. But slowly but surely, I think
You got to give Mourinho time to work. I'm sorry.
No, 100%.
You got to give him
That's
time
what
to
it
work.
is. But I think the biggest thing, especially in Serie A, is not giving enough time to a coach to implement something.
Exactly.
After a few games, he's already on the hot seat if he doesn't deliver all the points.
Well said.
And that's why I never like judging based on one season like Spalletti. But it just hurts because I want Napoli to do so much better for that.
Because he had Napoli in his heart.
No, I just like the way they do stuff.
I like
But-
the way
Yeah,
they-
he likes
What kind of stuff?
I
Like,
like
10
the way they
jerseys
do
a year.
stuff. Yeah.
They got great style.
Halloween edition
They're up
jersey.
to 45 jerseys.
That's how they're making all their money.
But I just want to
Right.
say,
I think you made a good point. You made a very good point about
I just
that.
wanted to say, and I think Mourinho's the kind of guy that you die for. He has your back. He fight for you. He'd lie for you. He'd do whatever you can. And I feel like it's reciprocated in the locker room with him. And I just wanted to finish off and be like, and if he keeps getting the transfers that the Friedkin group are gonna give him, I think next season he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Let me just give context to that. He when I spoke to him, his biggest thing was he knows he's not getting those transfers. Like he said, this is completely different. He said, I need to develop these guys. That's why he's going to Primavera matches, watching Felix, Zalewski, all these kids to help put them into the squad. Yes, he needs a transfer market, but it's not that, Roma
not
gets to
saying
this
crazy,
spot and
yeah.
then they're going to buy all these big
But
players.
what do you think-
He already got a few. He got the goalkeeper. He got Rui Patricio. He got Oliveira, and I think there was one more that I must be forgetting.
Well,
no, Tammy
I was going
Abraham
to say,
is a
what
lot
do
of
you think
players.
happens if they lose Zaniolo?
Oh, Tammy, I forgot. Obviously.
Honestly, they played good in the derby without Zaniolo. They did.
Yeah,
they
did.
honestly, the style of I didn't know Zaniolo was going to become a starter.
I mean, what do you think happens with their transfer market if they sell Zaniolo? Do you think
They
that
might be able to use
they-
that 60 million in
Exactly.
better places.
That's true.
Honestly,
I could see it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
One other guy that I was going to mention, just to touch on his point. I know you want to say something. Thiago Motta is another good example with Spezia, where the dude was fired in December. He was gone, even after he beat Napoli. He beat Napoli in that match. They were trying to sign Gianpaolo. Gianpaolo rejected Spezia. That is the only reason why Thiago Motta remained on the job.
There was also the clause.
And then he beat Milan in that controversial match. And he won three matches in a row for Spezia, their first time in their history of winning 3 in a row. And then he got coach of the month in January or February. I don't remember. But like, that's another good example of sometimes we have to not judge so quick and jump to the conclusion.
Crazy.
You need to see little things, and from the inside, I'm sure you could tell. But now people are talking about how good of a job Thiago Motta has done with Spezia.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
No, I was just gonna go to what Mike was saying about Mourinho. You know, I'm Mourinho to death. What he did.
course.
We'll see if you are this weekend.
For Inter. It's great.
We'll see if you keep saying that.
Oh boy.
But let's not forget, he's used to going 2 years, maximum 3 years with a club, and then he needs to leave.
Like Conte.
So I know this is a different project than what he's done in the past, where it was win now, and he had a blank checkbook to be able to sign whoever he wanted. So that could change the outcome of things. But with this Roma team, he's gonna look to develop them, get these younger guys, which he's always done. To be fair, even with Inter, I mean Balotelli, even obviously Mancini gave him the chance, but under Mourinho, Balotelli really flourished. Davide Santon came up through Mourinho, and he's given different players that opportunity, even with the Inter team that had superstars.
But who do you think is really going to look at him after Roma? That's the thing.
Mourinho?
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
No, but he's not doing this 2-3 year thing.
No, yeah.
He said
this is a long-term
It was
thing.
one of the things that I asked him about. Is like, you only stay at teams that are for 3 years. He's like, but this Roma is completely different.
Well, that's
than
what I'm
my other
saying.
stuff.
It's a different
So
project.
he's thinking about a long term.
Yeah, I mean, he's thinking about it. But like I said, I think it's not so much what he's thinking about. In any relationship, there's multiple factors to it. And in this case, it's the ownership group, which I think will always be happy with a Mourinho, given his results. But also at the same time, it's the players, because his way of doing things, he demands a lot from his players. So usually after those 2-3 years, the team is absolutely tired, and he takes out a lot of energy. So let's see what happens.
And he can also end up dividing the locker room and not.
Yeah, but you know what? I
unifying
think
them at the end of the
I
day.
think Roma is the right place for him, because he needs to pick a team that has that us against the world mentality. Real Madrid is very difficult, because Real Madrid is the beloved team, and then Real Madrid, a lot of the players, they were very close with the Barcelona players. So for them to see Barcelona as the complete enemy, and not to be harsh, but like, you'll kill your enemy at any point, that didn't fly with a lot of the Real Madrid players.
Marcella, 3 teams that are getting relegated. Which are they?
I don't even know at the bottom of the table.
Salernitana, Venezia, Genoa, Cagliari, Sampdoria. Those are really the 5 teams.
Yeah.
It's basically in that order. Genoa might be 19th instead of Venezia that I said.
Genoa's actually last right now, but
Genoa's last?
I'm really going to hope
They're all
that
tied.
Venezia stay up.
Which are the 3 teams that are going down? I don't want no hope.
Nostradamus.
prayers.
No hope.
Yeah,
no.
Nostradamus. Which are the 3, Marcella? You need a second? I say it's going to be...
I say Cagliari, Genoa, and Salernitana.
Ooh, you think Elliot is going down?
And Venezia gets saved. Pete?
No, I think
Pete
it's,
Kurt?
these 3 teams are going to go down, unfortunately,
I'm with Pete.
because just Genoa can't score.
Yeah, but
Venezia have had a terrible run.
No, Cagliari are good. Cagliari just beat
They're
Sassuolo
6
too.
points up, aren't they?
But there's games in hand.
Games at hand.
for the other
Okay.
2 guys.
But
I haven't been looking too much at the bottom of the table
Yo,
lately.
can Davide Nicola pull another miracle like he did with Crotone in 2017?
I hope so.
Because he just won. He won their last 2 matches in a row, which we did not expect for him to even be able to do. He did it against Udinese, right? It was the same match as the Coppa Italia. And the one before that was at Sampdoria. I think it was Sampdoria,
Sampdoria, 2-1.
in Genoa. He won
yeah,
both
but
of those
Sampdoria
games.
has been playing terribly.
Yeah.
Sampdoria still risk. Sampdoria do risk
Yeah, Sampdoria.
going
Hard,
down
yeah.
because they are poor. I don't know. I've been saying Salernitana will go down, but Davide Nicola's done this before.
I really wish Nicola could do this because he has such an amazing story, and we talked about it so much on IFTV. I think it's gonna be too hard.
Okay,
man.
so you wish that. So which is the third team you want to go down instead of Salernitana?
Wait, what? I think it's
Cagliari or Sampdoria?
Wait, what?
You said you wish he could save Salernitana. So
Oh.
which is the team that you push down?
Well, Sampdoria gave us the biggest chance, so I'm always grateful for them. So I'd have to put Genoa.
No, Genoa's already down.
Oh,
Genoa's
then-
already in the bottom.
okay.
So it's Cagliari. You're not going to put Cagliari because you got your Greek dude over there.
I'll put Cagliari. He'll go to another Serie A team.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, so why,
Spezia staying.
why can Mike say that he hopes Salernitana stay up, and I can't say that I hope Venezia stay up?
No, you can, but I was asking
You
your
can say
prediction.
whatever.
He said his prediction
Yeah.
is those three teams, but then he said he
Yeah.
hopes. I need a hope and
Just
then
a
a
nice
prediction.
story, you know. It'll be a nice post for us if he does go up.
But I like Cagliari better
Do you?
than Salernitana, yeah. I think they got better players.
It's tough. Whatever. It's a not for not.
What's any other topics? Oh, I think we have one other topic. We know Italy is going to have this match against Argentina. The big talking point has been Immobile and Insigne if they're going to stay on with the national team. Now, I know we're about to end, so I don't want people to start. I don't want you guys to claw each
We're gonna
other's
start a
eyes
whole
out.
new thing.
I already see Peter Curto. His foot is shaking. He's looking
He's
pissed
trembling
off.
over here.
You see the jawline?
Mar-
You
The veins
liked
in his
that one,
forehead.
didn't you? You liked that jawline comment.
Marcella's, I could already tell what she's going to say. Do you guys think
What am I going to say?
you're going to say that Immobile should not get called up?
I don't know about that.
Oh,
Okay, so we'll go to you last. Do you think Immobile and Insigne should still get called up to the Italian national team, Peter?
Immobile can get called up, but he can be the last man on the bench because unfortunately we need to change tide. There's no push for the World Cup. The Euros in another 2 years. At that point, Immobile is going to be older, and we need some young blood to come in. So at this point,
You didn't know Immobile's age.
he's 30, right?
something like
No,
that.
you just said
31.
he's going to be older.
He's going to be old. I don't know.
And
Top 10.
everybody in 2 years is going to
He's
be
like
older.
30, 31.
She's 32 right
32,
now. Wow.
so it'll be 34 at that point. So it's not that he can't still be that great goal scorer in Serie A with the Lazio shirt, but he can't do it with the Azzurri.
But why, though?
Why?
Ask him. Give him a call.
He's blocked mentally. So at that point, there's nothing you
I
can do.
wanted to hear Peter's answer.
Yeah,
I
I know.
agree with the answer.
The Azzurri shirt is too heavy for him. I also think that in Serie A, he scores goals, but look at the majority of his goals, and they come in bunches, and a lot of times it's versus the mid to bottom tier teams. He's just not a prolific goal scorer on the big stage. And it even goes to the point that when he went to other teams in Europe, Borussia Dortmund, he failed. And not to say that, he's a good striker within Serie A, but he's not the top striker that the Italian national team is used to seeing for so long.
So Scamacca you want starting? Is that
Well,
what it is?
this is my frustration with Mancini is I even agree to a certain point his motive or his reason to keep Immobile in that game versus North Macedonia, right? But I fault Mancini for not giving Raspadori and Scamacca more time in other games in the friendly. He was so worried about trying to get Immobile hot that he did not give the same attention or give the same opportunities to Raspadori and Scamacca. That who knows, maybe with 5 to 10 games as starters, now all of a sudden this Italy team might be playing a certain way where we're not forced to say, hey, but Immobile scores 30 goals. No, Scamacca had already proven or has proven that he can do it in the Italian national team. Or Raspadori coming in gives a different outlook to this Italy team. You can make that move versus North Macedonia and put a Raspadori.
And he
Scamacca
scored
was
2
injured.
goals for Turkey.
Perfectly
Yeah.
said.
Game
I
out.
have nothing to add from what Peter said. I completely
I know.
reiterate that.
I actually completely agree with you 100%.
What happened? You were making fun of me that I don't know what you're going to think. So you said exactly what we said.
No, you said that I thought that Immobile should be cut 100%. That's
Fair
not
enough.
what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
I think
He should be cut 50%.
50%. No, I think the only thing that I want to add is that, and this is just like, kind of building on what you were saying, I think that Mancini did the correct thing, making Immobile captain in that match. I think he was trying to get the locker room behind him because that's when he performs the best. And Immobile is a player that he needs to feel like he has the support of everyone. So I feel like Mancini thought the armband was going to do that for him, and he was trying to make him, get hot, and he didn't.
Any other different opinion, Mike, or do you agree with?
I mean,
I know
what
Mike's
was
shaking
said?
his head at me the whole entire time I was talking.
No,
What's
not
that
not
about?
on you. On what Mancini did,
FC Pasta.
based on that.
FC Potsdam.
But no, I
Finally
agree
learned.
with all the
In
all the
Greece, this
points that you
means-
guys said.
I agree. No, that's true, but not in Greece,
it's
but in
not.
India, when they shake
no.
their head, that means yes.
Who told you this?
Yeah,
Google
One of
it.
your
like a Snapple
stupid
fact.
friends.
Google it.
Yeah, it's one of his
Google
friends
it.
that said, "Let's see if
We'll
I can,
check
if
out.
I
We're
can
gonna
make
check
Peter
after the
believe this."
podcast. I'm telling you.
But like I was saying, Raspadori scored 2 goals the game after for 3rd place against Turkey. Whatever, it wasn't a must-win match or anything, but he should have bet on the youth. And I'd call up Immobile for the next one just based on meritocracy if he does keep scoring goals, but I wouldn't
So,
start him.
Insigne,
I
did we
think
all
he
say
deserved-
Insigne? No.
First of all, I think that Insigne and Immobile deserve their goodbye, guys. They deserve
Goodbye.
knowing. Yeah,
they deserve a
do.
goodbye, really?
But you just said
Of
Immobile
course
that you
they
would
did.
keep him. So, well, goodbye.
No. I'm saying I would keep him for the finalissima against Argentina because I think they
that's
deserve
fine.
their goodbye.
Whatever. Okay, that's fine.
Now, I'm not saying keep them in the long run for that one game.
That's okay.
It's like
It's a friendly.
It's a friendly. It's like a
And I think for Insigne, I think I put him in the same category as Immobile. Unfortunately, when it came to the Italian national team, yes, the Euro Tiragiro was great, but I think we just got caught up in that that Euro run where everything kind of went perfect, and not for nothing, we tied a lot of the games in regulation.
I was gonna say
so
I really don't know
we
if
didn't-
it went. I don't know.
No, but I mean,
it went
not
perfect
perfect in the
it
sense
went,
that we won.
Yeah, it went perfect
Okay.
in the sense that we
Yeah.
won. But I think
No one expected
You know,
that.
yeah. So
Antonio did.
I think Insigne is just.
It's true. But you did predict
Antonio throws a million things at a wall. One is stuck over 5 years.
Still got it.
So that's how I see. And then Insigne making that move to Toronto, I think really paints the picture in the sense that he's already done what he's
he's
done what
supposed
he's
gonna
and
do,
he's done.
that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. He made his next step.
All right, guys. Anything else? Anything else anybody's got on their mind?
We're not going to talk about predictions for Scudetto race. Is that it? We're done.
We always do. We already did our
Yeah,
predictions.
I feel
You
like
can
we
give
bring
your
it every
prediction.
time, but yeah.
What's
go
your
ahead.
prediction? You're gonna say Napoli.
No, I'm not going to say no. Oof, God forbid.
God forbid. You just stuck up for
No,
Napoli.
no,
That's messed up.
You stuck up for Napoli that they're
wait,
in the race.
No. Exactly. I said they were in the race, but that's not who I hope wins the Scudetto at this
No,
point.
not who you hope.
Milan.
Who's gonna win the Scudetto?
Milan.
Who's gonna win the Scudetto? Milan.
Milan's going to win the Scudetto.
Milan's gonna win the Scudetto. You stack him. No change. You can't change now.
That's to show
Yeah,
how
we changed too
far,
much.
how far Milan has fallen. That Juventini all support Milan.
Oh my
Wait.
gosh.
No. Now I got to explain myself. Hold on.
No, we know already.
Hold on. The most important thing going into the Scudetto
Please talk
race.
into the mic. Thank you.
The most important thing going into the Scudetto race was making sure that Inter don't win a second. Putting you guys on a run is the worst thing that we could have absolutely done.
Anyway, Marcella, it was
Now-
very nice to have you on our show.
Never going to be
After
invited.
the-
Never going to be invited back on again.
No,
after this one.
you're absolutely. We will kick Peter off before.
No, what do you
before
mean?
anything
Peter's
happens.
great. Come on,
Peter.
I hate his team, but he's great.
There we go.
Appreciate
Fair enough.
it.
Fair enough. Is it
Appreciate
reciprocal?
it. Truce
It
right
is.
there, right?
There
I
we
hate
go.
your team, but you're great.
Okay, what's going on? What is this? You guys gonna hug or something?
After 10 minutes of you two fighting. Guys, anyway, thank you for everyone for watching. We'll see you soon. Make sure you tune into all of the matches this weekend on Paramount Plus. We got big matches. Inter against Roma, Lazio, Milan. So many good games to look forward to. We will be live for some of the matches. And Antonio is returning from
Aruba.
Aruba.
He said tomorrow, right?
Aruba, he's returning. He's trying to make us do another podcast. We will not do another podcast. We'll just leave him here, let him talk to himself, and let him get his fix. Did you see the video of him, by the way, today?
Yeah.
Are you going to let me plug in the club a little bit, though?
I will.
Yeah.
Can I let me say Antonio? Did you
Oh,
see
I don't
him
know. It
looking
sounded
like
like you were closing it, saying
No.
goodbye.
It was
Did
just
you see
open.
Antonio
me
acting like a
knees.
caveman?
Not a
Did it?
caveman, a fisherman, a raw
No,
fisherman.
he called himself a caveman, didn't he?
He said
Did
caveman.
it?
Yeah,
Oh.
he said he was a caveman.
Because he was breaking the scungil with the rock.
That's unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
He's a man of many
And he ate it raw.
many traits.
After dipping it into the
In the
water,
water.
which he said was cleaning.
The salt water.
He said it was.
to clean away the concrete. He said,
Yeah.
which I don't
It
know
was
where the
smashing
concrete
them.
came from, but
Maybe
it was on a rock. So
Marcella.
Oh, well, thank you guys, number one, for having me on. It's been great. It's been a long time coming. So happy to finally get to talk with you guys. And just for all the New York Juventini out there, the Juventus official fan club of Empire State, we meet at Legends Football Factory for every weekend game, sometimes for the midweek for, Champions League next season, obviously, hopefully, obviously. And hopefully also for the Coppa Italia final. So we hope to see you there.
Peter, you're going to be
No,
at
I
any of those?
actually have a story. First off, they do a great job. Even though as an Inter fan, I have to say, I do follow you guys on Instagram through friendship, of course.
Thank you.
So
Friendship.
I don't.
He's the one
I don't,
reporting your
I don't,
account every
I
single
don't
time.
put any likes just for
No, but he's got his eye on
in
us. It's
principle.
okay.
But I do see what you guys are doing.
Thanks.
So
It's more than I can
it's-
say from
it's-
Marco over
it's
here.
oh.
This is a
Shots
spicy
fired.
one. This is a
You've been
spicy
hanging around
one.
Mike too
hot
much.
stir.
But
FC Pots.
just a
What's your
funny
story?
thing. So when Juventus was in the final versus Barcelona, you guys did lose, but that's nothing new.
That's before my time.
Okay,
That's before
but there
my
was a
time.
Juventus.
your time.
There was a Juventus
That was
club.
before my time at the club. I wasn't at the
Oh,
time.
before your time at the club. Nah,
no,
nervous.
It seemed like you're
but
12
he's
years
talking.
old.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
he's
talking about you. I'm talking about the club in general.
Exactly, the club in general. So I'm saying that was before my
this
time.
is the funny story.
The
Funny
club.
let me tell the story. So there was a massive line. I felt like I wasn't gonna be able to get in. One of the owners, what's his name? Tommy? I don't know, bald
Jack.
guy.
The owners of Jack. Yeah.
Jack. Okay, he saw me. And I guess he must have saw me before that I was at the game and I'm wearing an Italy jersey. And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's part of the Juventus club." So that one time, I said, "Yeah, I'm part of the Juventus club," and I was able to get front row seats to watch that
Oh my
that
God. the Inter fans?
Juve
hilarious.
Barcelona game. So
That's fun. That's pretty funny. I like
Everyone would have done the same thing.
of course, man, the line was
Exactly.
literally
out the door.
around the block, like you couldn't get in.
I mean, the Madrid final. I won't even tell you how many hours I got there early before the game.
Wow. He was probably turning and said, "You, oh yeah, me, okay, whatever."
I was like, "Be careful."
I'll come
My
in.
grandfather would kill me.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao,
Ciao, ragazzi.
guys.